Alrighty, guys, we're back for rotation proof mono green aggro, and this is a Final Fantasy Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. We have all four Pawpatch Recruit. Nice, it's going to be beautiful in here as a 1-drop and a 3-drop because of the offspring cost, which will happen quite often, I would say, especially when you're ramping into it on a turn 2 with Llanowar Elves as your turn 1, huh? So all four of those packed in. You have a little bit of removal with a couple hard-hitting questions. You can also consider Archdruid's Charm a little bit of removal as well. Now, more ramp packed in outside of the Llanowar Elves, we have Herd Heirloom. Of course, this mana can only be spent to cast creature spells, but that's fine. Most of the deck list is actually creatures, and most of what we want to ramp into are creatures. Herd Heirloom also acting as the card draw of the build. Now we have a bit of a graveyard theme packed in. So we have 4 Esper Origins. 2 mana sorcery, has a flashback cost for 3 and a green. Surveil 2, gain 2. If the spell was cast from a graveyard, exile it, then put it onto the battlefield transformed under its owner's control with a finality counter on it. So it comes out as Summon Esper Maduin, which is a 4/4. Chapter 1 of the saga, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, put it into your hand. Chapter 2, add 2 green mana, which really does come in handy more than you would think. Chapter 3, other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. It's been a pretty good card, huh? And we do have another new one in here to work well with the graveyard theme. On the top end, Summon Titan. It's a 5 mana, 7/7, reach, trample, enchantment creature saga giant. Nice. Chapter 1 of the saga, mill 5 cards. Chapter 2, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Chapter 3, until end of turn, another target creature you control gains trample and gets +X/+X, where X is the number of lands you control. Yeah, Summon Titan has been pretty good. I was really excited when I pulled my 4th one. Okay, also fitting the graveyard theme, we have Keen-Eyed Curator in here. It's a 2 mana 3/3. As long as there are 4 or more types among cards exiled with this creature, it gets +4/+4 and has trample. You can pay 1, exile target card from a graveyard. Of course, that helps us exile things from the opponent's graveyard, which is pretty important with all the reanimation we've been seeing. That's also why we're rocking all 4 Scavenging Ooze as well. So if we're not up against reanimation, that's fine. We want to exile our own things anyways. Grow the Ooze or get the Keen-Eyed Curator to a 7/7 trampling creature, right? So just in case you don't know, Scavenging Ooze is a 2 mana 2/2. For a green mana, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and you gain 1 life. Beautiful stuff. The mana base, 24 total mana, and a couple of them are Zanarkand, Ancient Metropolis. For the adventure side, it's 4 and double green, a sorcery speed adventure. Create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each land you control. So just having some extra utility lands that could potentially be a late game creature could be pretty important, especially when you can potentially give that late game creature haste and maybe win that turn with Surrak, the Hunt Caller. Actually, not going to take the time to go over this right now. Not the only Surrak packed in. We do have Surrak Elusive Hunter as well, also acting as even more card draw for the build. Okay, honorable mentions. I thought about Scrap Shooter because there's a lot of enchantments or artifacts that you wouldn't mind popping with this, but we can also pop artifacts and enchantments with the Archdruid's Charm. So, okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked, see how we do. Right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? I think it's going to be pretty good, man. Yeah, as far as mono green aggro goes, I think leaning this whole graveyard side of things, I think it's going to make it pretty decent. We'll see, though. We'll see what we're capable of here today. Opponent goes first. A pretty good hand, especially if Llanowar Elves gets to stick around turn 1. We'll go right into Pawpatch Recruit Offspring over the Surrak Elusive Hunter, probably. Llanowar Elves probably dies, but we still try it. Yeah, for sure. Ooh. It's alive! We'll see if it survives their second mana. If the opponent finds their second mana. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Okay, Llanowar Elves sticking around. Yeah, we should go right into the Pawpatch Recruit. Yeah, Surrak could be pretty good too, but I think it'd be a pretty silly not to get this offspring on the board while we can. Surrak could be good if we're expecting a temporary lockdown, but I don't know what to expect from the opponent yet. War Leader's Call. Okay. Ooh, another Pawpatch Recruit. We could probably hold off on that now. Esper Origins can help us surveil a land on top, which could be good. I'm pretty sure we want the Surrak down now, though. The opponent's tapped out. I'm just going to do this main phase 1. Get the swing with the bunny rabbits. All right. Yeah, who needs the third mana, huh? We have Llanowar Elves. That's all we need. We don't need any more land. There's still 22 mana to draw, though, from the deck list, so... Ooh, House Squad Heavy. Oh, that's really good with the War Leader's Call. I suppose we risk the block with the Surrak, even though they have Vantage open. With Monstrous Rage gone, I mean, it could still be a combat trick, but I don't know how often we want to play around combat tricks without Monstrous Rage in the format. You know what I mean? It's tough. With House Squad Heavy and War Leader's Call being the only cards that the opponent has revealed, we can actually say, like, well, there might be a really good chance that the other cards in their hand needed a creature to target, and that's why they didn't play anything for the first 2 turns, right? Also, we are stuck on the opponent's turn. We'll go ahead and pause the recording until the opponent shows up. Okay, the opponent has arrived. They swung with the goblin. They're actually forced into that swing. We're just going to take the 2. I decided that it's probably much better to keep the Surrak around instead of risk a trade into a token, right? So another Llanowar Elves can be pretty good. We probably, now that we kind of know that they're playing a creature deck list, it's probably not a temporary lockdown style deck list, so we probably go into Pawpatch Recruit. And this is a pretty good trade for us here, but they probably take the damage. I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. Right. I accept that trade. Let's see if they accept that trade. I think they take the 4. Although it could be a combat trick on our turn now, right? Keep the House Squad Heavy around. But still, it's better to risk it with the heavy over the token for sure. All right. Yeah, we probably just go Pawpatch Recruit number 2. Continue to go wide. Or... Okay, Esper Origins, get a land on top. Oh, Archdruid's Charm is actually really good too. That can pop the War Leader's Call. Could be essential, honestly. I like both of these. We keep both. And we're going to try for, I guess, another Llanowar Elf. Well, that'll be 5 mana for the Summon Titan. We're going to accidentally mill the Archdruid's Charm if we ramp into Titan. So we can skip the Titan for next turn. I don't know what we do instead, though. On another War Leader's Call is terrifying, guys. Holy cow, dude. We should probably... I probably should have put the Archdruid's Charm on top instead of the Forest. I just wanted to get that Forest as soon as possible, you know? Okay, I'll take the 3. That's really sketchy, man. I don't like the double War Leader's Call at all. we could die real soon. Maybe we skip the Archdruid's Charm. Instead, get a nice chunky creature on the board that knows how to block really well. Surrak trading into this 3/3 Goblin's rough business. So we really do want to charm one of the War Leader's Calls. With 5 mana, we can get Ooze and the Pawpatch Recruit number 2 down. It gives us a good wide board state of chump blockers, potentially. Don't want to do Origins, because we won't draw on the Esper side. So no swings. Pawpatch Recruit. Doesn't really matter what we spend here. Yeah, and if they got any burn for our creatures, I mean, we're going to benefit a lot. Multiple counters onto the other creatures, plus card draw on the Surrak as well. So any burn they have, they really want to just hit face, as they're squeezing by our blockers with the War Leader's Calls anyways. Now with Archdruid's Charm being instant speed, we could always try for some kind of trick, like wherever they end up blocking type thing, and then reduce their creatures. Yeah, we'll see what we can pull off with that Archdruid's Charm. Get lost onto their own Goblin to get a couple map tokens? I guess so, yeah. They want to go for the boost. They find some more mana on top here. And Burnout Bastronaut. So, so far, it's Boros Goblins, right? They got max speed. They got a ton of mana if they need it. We should probably chump. I really don't like chumping with a Pawpatch Recruit, but we probably should. There's better chumps in its future too, but we're probably going to end up chumping with the Llanowar Elves eventually. Again, just establishing Summon Titan could be great to block really well, but we're in danger for sure, especially once a Krinko comes down. I mean, they would have played it that turn, and we know that Bastronaut's next. This will have haste. It does have double strike as well. They have a ton of mana to pump it. It has menace. This is actually tough. We have a lot of tough decisions, guys. We really do. We don't know what these last two cards in hand are either. Okay, Archdruid's Charm for the turn. Let's see what they do with the Surrak. We'll try to get rid of House Squad Heavy with the surprise. Well, that did not go as planned. that did not go as planned, guys. Okay, well, we'll go for the fight then, and I hope that's okay. I hope this is okay. Because we just don't know what's left in their hand. What if it's something? It could easily be something. Oh, House Squad Heavy's gone. Oh, thank goodness, bro. This is still a really good trade for them, unfortunately. We still have 2 mana open for the Scavenging Ooze to pick up the creatures out of the grave, so that'll be good. A little bit of life gain from the Ooze as well. We can do that on the opponent's turn, of course. Yeah, with the House Squad Heavy gone, no haste for the Bastronaut is great news, but second Heavy could come down. I feel like they would have played that last turn too. Ow. Ow. I would have loved to remove one of these calls. I hope we're okay. I might... Okay, nice. Nice, so they skip the swing on the Goblin. I was going to say, I might risk the Ooze block, just because they haven't had any other combat trick up their sleeve, and so the Ooze probably could have blocked really well. Okay, back up to 11. Esper Origins could be really good. I think it's finally time to get some of the Titans down. Don't have great swings when this has double strike, that's for sure. I don't want to lose the Ooze to a Bastronaut. I think we just have a little bit of patience here. Get the Titan down, mill 5 cards, maybe mill a creature, and then use the other Llanowar Elves to boost the Scavenging Ooze even further. And then next turn, we might be able to get the Ooze above the double strike death from the Bastronaut. Yeah, because I don't think that would be a great trade for us. I think keeping Ooze on the board at any cost, really good. As a matter of fact, they probably, if they find another Get Lost, they probably target the Ooze, and they'd be very happy about that. I mean, Titan ends up popping itself after Chapter 3 anyways. This is an interesting game, guys. This is we're up against Boros goblins, but they missed their first couple turns, or missed some goodies on their first couple turns at least, right? So Ooze does have some creatures to pick up now. Yep, it's just not a good trade. And we still can't swing wide either because we don't want to risk losing Pawpatch Recruits just to slip a couple damage through. Yeah, I think having a little bit of patience here is really good. With the opponent having so much mana, though, it really could just be a matter of time until they play second Howl Squad Heavy and a Krinko. They do swing with the Bastronaut. We should totally try to block with the Titan. Oh, it has Menace too. Yeah. Okay. So they are going to boost it. So we're actually like forced into a block, right? Because they have so much mana, they could just boost it to 6 double strike, right? Yeah. So we are forced to block. We just want to make sure that we can pop it. They got 7 mana, so yeah. Titan's the one. Titan dies, that's okay. The Llanowar Elves is fine here too. Because we don't need 2 Llanowar Elves on the board, I would say. And we can use Llanowar Elves' ability to boost the Ooze. So it is going to be Bastronaut ability. That does clean everything up. They do it again. Still cleans everything up. Still cleans everything up. I hope they don't give this trample. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab the Llanowar Elves from the grave. And now this Llanowar Elves goes to the grave. We can pick it up with the Ooze too. That'll be nice. Nice. Beautiful stuff. Okay, Cacophony Scamp comes down. Down to 10. They play the other mana. They have 1 card in hand we don't know about. Hard-hitting Question is really good. I suppose we just focus on Ooze for the turn. Get a good swing. Hard-hitting Question. I guess we could do damage to the Scamp, see what they pop with the Scamp. I guess they'd want to hit face. Because of Pawpatch Recruit ability is crazy business. Also, Ooze ability is crazy business. The fact that we can do that at instant speed to just keep on boosting. Yeah, the second they target a creature, all the Pawpatch Recruits boost everything else, right? So they do end up targeting the Ooze for 3 damage. We'll boost all the recruits wide like this. That's pretty good, right? All right, totally worth the swing. Totally worth the swing. Ooze can pick up Scamp. Ooze can pick up the Bastronaut. Yeah, GG opponent. GG. I mean, we just had so much value, huh? I was taking it slow, making sure I was thinking through it well enough for you guys. This was my first game of the evening. And sometimes my first games are really just terrible as I get back into knowing how to play Magic the Gathering, you know? Just making sure, playing it nice and slow. Awesome business, man. And I love seeing Boros Goblins. That's really fun. Yeah, if they would have found some more of their early stuff too. Certain deck lists you're really just going to put between a rock and a hard place. Like, especially once you get Pawpatch Recruit down. And then it's just like, what do they target at that point? Pretty much all of their burn would have had to slam face. And then they were having trouble seeing more creatures for their double War Leader's Call as well. So that's another thing. We got a little lucky. They didn't find more token generation and stuff. Because it really could have just come down to a couple plays of getting multiple creatures on their board state at one time, you know what I mean? So, seems like a good hand. They actually have 3 mana early on here too. That was a long first game, holy cow. Hey guys, while I have you here, somewhere in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. And also guys, the YouTube side of things, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like, and if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. So thank you guys. All right, we're gonna go ahead, pause the recording until the opponent shows up. The opponent has arrived. We keep this. Yeah, the curve here looks great, man. If we have Herd Heirloom and we ramp into turn 3 Hunt Caller, then we have a potential hasty Elusive Hunter on the next turn. I say potential, especially versus Dimir. We can't really expect our creatures to survive, but Herd Heirloom might actually stick around nicely. Yeah, after the 4 mana, okay, yeah. We definitely want to find more creatures off the top, and we just really need to spam them all onto the board to try to get around Dimir's spot removal. With Herd Heirloom, we really don't want it to get eaten by a counter spell by any means, but that doesn't mean we don't play into it. Maybe, okay, Deep Cavern Bat's gonna grab the Heirloom anyways for a tempo play, because that gives us nothing for turn 2 guaranteed. So I guess another Herd Heirloom off the top would be good too. I know one thing, we definitely don't want to see a forest off the top. Not yet, at least. Yeah, it's going to be the Elusive Hunter, actually. Okay, we have a turn 2. That's great news. We find a forest off the top. Yeah, that's not great. I suppose we start with the swing. No, I like keeping Pawpatch Recruit around. Deep Cavern Bat being an absolute menace right now. I think they accept that trade, guys. I do. Because I bet just like second Deep Cavern Bat would come down after the trade. Hello, second Deep Cavern Bat. Hi. Okay, well, I hope we find some creatures. Zanarkand, that does not count. That's a lot of mana. There's 24 mana in here. All right, now we see if they accept that trade. They do not, because they don't want the Hunt Caller on the board. Zanarkand, at least it's utility land. It could have been another forest, and that would have been really bad news. So Grixis colors over there. I'm just now computing that this is Grixis. They go up to 21. All right, Keen-Eyed Curator. Awesome. Yeah, we can definitely keep Zanarkand as the adventure, as the utility land. Does Keen-Eyed Curator land? Nice. That's good. All right, we'll get the swing. Actually, we really don't know what we're up against. 4 open mana and Grixis colors. You guys think it's going to be like a flash creature? Is it worth doing the 2 now? No, I don't think so. Not until we know what we're up against. Meringue River Regent was all it was. Okay. Yeah, maybe we should have slipped the 2 through. I don't know though, man. When we're up against Dimir Tempo and all those flash creatures, those can be pretty devastating. Meanwhile, Recruit kind of sort of protecting some things here. Oh, you know what I should have done, guys? This was a little silly. But just in case they had more Surveil or Mill or something, we should have tapped Herd Heirloom for the Keen-Eyed Curator. That way we could have kept 3 mana open for its ability. Creature of the Schism is an absolute menace. Hard-hitting question's pretty good against it, though. Keen-Eyed Curator not going to stick around here. Is it worth picking up the Sheoldred? Yeah. Yeah. Because it wouldn't be terrible to keep Sheoldred under the, or in the graveyard if we find Ooze. But we also don't know if this is just like some kind of weird version of Grixis Reanimator. And so emptying their grave seems pretty good to me. All right, Llanowar Elves and Herd Heirloom only for creature spells. The adventure on Zanarkand generates a creature, but it is a sorcery spell, unfortunately. But Llanowar Elves survival could mean the adventure on Zanarkand, which could be pretty good. I think we're in a lot of danger here, man. We're in big danger. And Herd Heirloom acting as one of our main pieces of card draw. We actually need chunky creatures on the board. Oh. Crap. There goes Zanarkand. Crap, dude. This is Grixis mid-range. Right? This is totally Grixis mid-range. And we're like, I'm terrified of that. They drop the GG. We do find mana. No, give me my Zanarkand back. No. All right. Yeah, we're just going to take the damage here. And each player discards a card. They get rid of an ill-timed explosion. Ow. With Grixis midrange, they could have burn. Ritual Chamber. They go for a 6/6 demon. And Cecile as well. They drop hello. I know what this calls for. Are we doomed? I'm pretty sure we're doomed. Yeah, we saw a lot of our ramp creatures here at the end too, so there's a hole in your plan. Hold on. Opponent. No choice, ultimate spell. Oh, actually, don't underestimate me. Would have been much better here. I will take the blocks this time round, and we will chump the chunky ones. Chump, and we'll trade into the Cecile here as well. Hey, good game, opponent. Fancy pants, GG. Now, if we would have, like, we had a great curve, man, but Deep Cavern Bat, just showcasing why I call it a tempo card, you know what I mean? We got completely tempoed out for a couple turns in a row. And taking the Surrak was actually much better than the Herd Heirloom. I thought the Herd Heirloom would have been much better, but them just taking the creature and us not really being able to get the creature back at all, yeah, that made sense. And they thought about it for a little while. I think they landed on the correct choice. With the Elusive Hunter on the board, too, if they would have targeted something, we would have also been able to replenish our hand, which could have been pretty bad for them. Hard-hitting Question would have been great in that last game, but we only have 2 of them in here, so that's definitely something to consider for the final thoughts, too. All right, we'll give it a shot, especially based on how much mana we drew last game. We'll be fine and dandy here, right, guys? It's definitely not as good of a hand, though. That last game, the curve in the hand was really good. Just Deep Cavern Bat picking it apart, unfortunately. Right, so no turn 1. Turn 2, Ooze. Actually find the 3rd on time for Elusive Hunter. And then no guarantees on 5th mana for a while for the Titan. So we do find the 3rd on time. Beautiful stuff. Vault comes down for the opponent. You know, it'd be crazy if this was colorless. Just a fully colorless deck list. I don't think I've seen... Oh, okay, it's a plains. Clay-fired bricks up against artifacts then, based on the vault and the bricks, right? So Hunter should definitely come down. Opponent's tapped out just doing that main phase 1. And Hunter doesn't get picked up by temporary lockdown, so that's good news. And also with Hunter on the board now, if they target one of our creatures, we'll get some card draw, which could be essential to find the 5th eventually for Titan. Okay. So there's their blue source, guys. So it's probably Synthesizer, and Synthesizer builds are really scary. They fired bricks, okay? So they're missing the Synthesizer for now. But with the Synthesizer build, we definitely want to see like our Archdruid's Charm or something. Also, Synthesizer definitely runs Temporary Lockdown. Or another board wipe of their choice, I suppose. We could dump the creatures we have. It might buy us a turn with a swing on the Surrak if they play a Temporary Lockdown and nothing else for the turn. It also might be really bad to do that too. Maybe we just go Llanowar Elves. That way if we see a forest off the top, we have Titan. And Titan doesn't get picked up by Temporary Lockdown. I'm going to try to play it cautiously, but I don't know if that's even the right answer. Because, okay, Day of Judgment. Okay, good. We played around that kind of, sort of. But still, that's a problem. All right. Surrak, number 2. So 4th mana now means doubling down on our 2-drops. 5th mana from the opponent. There's the Synthesizer. That's not good. Play fired bricks. Okay, they go back up to 18 here. So they've gained 6 life so far from the bricks alone. Oh, nice. Herd Heirloom is excellent business, dude. Excellent business. Ooze over Curator. Sorcery and a creature so far. Yeah, Ooze over Curator. Also, opponent's tapped out, which is why we didn't swing first. But I know it's good practice to do things main phase 2 when they don't affect combat. I just like playing my cards, guys. I hope they miss. Synthesizer number 2 and a Candy Trail. That could have been worse, right? It could have been double Perilous Snare. They get a chunky construct and pick up both of our creatures or something. So a hard-hitting question is going to have a hard time versus these constructs. Spring-Loaded Sawblades picks up the Surrak. We get some card draw. Do you find some mana here? Archdruid's Charm. Very nice, but now they have double Synthesizer, though. If we wait for Titan, double Synthesizer is a problem. Pretty much, if they have even just one artifact in hand that activates the Synthesizers, we're pretty much out of this, right? So at the very least, if we pop one Synthesizer with the Charm, maybe we can still find a way to pull ourselves back into this. Could try to do it at instant speed. There's no guarantee they don't have 3 steps ahead, though. So maybe we do it now. We have options, don't we? Okay. That's a tough decision, man. Because it just doesn't feel great, does it? Also, I guess another thing could be a second United Battlefront could pretty much pull us out of this, too. With 6 mana open, they go for the swing. I'll take the 7. That might mean it's going to be a second Day of Judgment. There's their second blue source. Temporary Lockdown. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. And a Braided Net as well. So, mana off the top. Best case scenario. Pawpatch Recruit isn't bad. But hard-hitting question doesn't hit their 3/3 with a Pawpatch Recruit. Well, that's that for the turn, huh? I hope they miss. Just mana, opponent. Just mana. Actually, they could take the turn for the Vault, which we don't actually get to see activated very often. Yeah, there's the Vault, guys. Wow, actually, this might be the first time I'm seeing the Vault activated. Hairless Snare. Nice. We get a counter on the other one, but they don't really mind since they're generating an extra construct, and both of them are going to be 5/5s. Scary business. I'll take the 5. Now, the Titan's still much bigger than the constructs. There's a possibility that they miss, but with the Vault being able to help them see even further now. Okay, 5th mana's pretty good. We get the Titan. Yeah, actually, Vault could be an MVP for them. Esper Origins in the grave. They can tap the Titan, but once they target, we get an extra counter on the other creature. Which isn't bad. Can't swing into their 5/5 though. Yeah, so if they... Okay, we get a... Oh, they have lethal on the board. Oh, good game, opponent. Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about that. So something I do quite often is I overlook the fact that, like, Braided Net, and this happens a lot, guys. They tap down one of your creatures on your turn, and then right when their turn flips back, they tap down the other creature, and it's really hard to have more than a couple chump blockers on the board. Okay, a couple tough uphill battles, but I'm kind of feeling confident with the deck list, right? Like, there's definitely power in here. We're 36 minutes in. We're going to try one more game. We're going to try to end on a high note, and I feel like we can totally end on a high note here. Yeah, how are you guys feeling about the deck list so far? I think having the little graveyard synergies and everything is actually just terrific. Opponent goes first, which of course is scary, but this is a good hand. We might be able to drop a Herd Heirloom down to 3, guys. Some of the extra ramp might actually be a little unnecessary, but okay. We are not going to wait for the offspring on the recruit. We're going to get it down and established. With Keen-Eyed Curator, we might just establish Keen-Eyed Curator because of how much Reanimator we see. Velgavoth to the grave, guys. Okay, well, they don't have a turn 3 Velgavoth. We might want to actually have a little bit of patience here. Llanowar Elves tells us, yes, we should have patience because Herd Heirloom, Llanowar Elves, swing for 2. If we knew that they were going to get Velgavoth back next turn, then we'd establish Curator. Well, no, we don't even have the mana for it. So, yeah, no, it makes more sense for a turn 3 Curator. And we really hope that we can get rid of everything in their grave with the Curator when it comes time, because they could easily hack an Atraxa in there too. Or into Tali. Opponent. And a second Atali. Oh, crap, dude. Okay. Everything's fine. So we have green mana here. And we hope that that treasure isn't anything. Oh my goodness, dude. All right, first of all, Velgavoth. Gobble up the grave. Keen-Eyed Curator, do the thing. I mean, this is kind of what a big part of this deck list was designed to do, so... And we do it all now, because we don't care about, like, what's underneath the Curator. We just care about cleaning up their grave, period. So, technically, we're still not safe from a turn 4 something, because they could play an untapped land. 1 mana something. Brotherhood's End? Oh, crap, dude. That was really bad. That's not good. Crap. Okay, well, number 1, we could... Well, I guess we get second Herd Heirloom down first. Then we could use the Herd Heirloom mana for Surrak. And then we have Hard-Hitting Question, just kind of not doing anything when we saw it today, but there were other moments where we really needed to see it, so I don't know, maybe 2 is fine. But I could also see 3. I could see dropping a Herd Heirloom, going up a third Hard-Hitting Question, but it really depends what you're seeing. We'll talk more about that in the final thoughts, too. They pass it back. We see mana here. I mean, there's just no way Surrak survives, right? Go for the swing. We have Herd Heirloom bottom ability. Just double checking, making sure it doesn't say sorcery speed only or something. If we can restock our hand with the Heirloom and Surrak, then wow. Then we're talking, huh? Okay. And they're waiting for the last moment, probably. That way we can't ramp into anything on the Heirlooms. No, it gets through, guys. Wow. Anything in our deck list can be played for 5 mana. Okay, we got to be very cautious with that second Keen-Eyed Curator. But I'm not going to worry about a Brotherhood's End. If we keep Surrak around... We got 6 mana, guys. We just got to go for it. We can't play around a second board wipe here. Because they're getting to the point where they can just outright cast their top end soon enough. But we will play around it a little bit with the Keen-Eyed Curator. I'm not going to dump it all on the board. I'm not that silly. All right, 7 total mana. Atali, yeah, top end coming on down. Hopefully they miss on the Atali. I didn't see what those were. I guess there'll be a surprise when they hit the stack. Hard-hitting question. No, we get some card draw. Bitter triumph. Dude. Atali just acting as removal here. Oh my goodness, dude. All right, so number one. Oh, wait. Hard-hitting question was... Okay, yeah, we couldn't get the toughness above 7. Okay, yeah, all into the one that we're keeping then, right? All right, mana's not great. Mana's really not great. Okay, Pawpatch Recruit. Now, how do we get around a 7/7 Atali now? Atraxa's in the grave. Now's the turn for Keen-Eyed Curator. Brotherhood's End doesn't hit this recruit. Maybe we can decide to go wide this turn too. They wouldn't mind that trade at all if we did something fancy with the trade and then hard-hitting question from a Keen-Eyed Curator. We could have started with the hard-hitting question swing. They let the 5 go through, draw on the Herd Heirloom. I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. A really tough decision. I'm pretty sure we get Keen-Eyed Curator down. And we pick up your grave. Make sure the Atraxa's out of there. Sorceries and instants. Sorceries. Instants. And unfortunately, that's as far as we can get it. Right? I can't believe I'm running out of my timer. Creature, 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 sorcery. Sorcery. All right. Let's hope they miss the Brotherhood's End. Let's go for it, dude. Establish everything, because we're in the danger zone once we're this far into the game. Once we're this late. There were so many options on that turn. Like, we really did. We did have a chance of playing Keen-Eyed Curator, going hard-hitting question on Atali, getting its toughness to 4, swinging with Pawpatch Recruit, that's a 5/5, and if they block, we still get 1 through, Atali dies. Herd Heirloom bottom ability could draw us 2 since we have 2 heirlooms. Rakdos joins up. They find a Velgavoth, guys. Oh no, I should have kept the Keen-Eyed Curator's ability open. Oh, dude, we're super out of this now, and it's my fault, kind of. If I wouldn't have played the Recruit, I could have just kept the Keen-Eyed Curator's ability open. Yeah. Crap. That's my fault, 100%. That's not good, guys. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, if we would have just saved Recruit, we could have done a lot there. hard-hitting question being super silly, but I guess it makes sense when they just have top end to hit and this big chunky top end too. All right, they got 7 in the air. We have a double block on the ground next turn, I suppose. Maybe we should have double blocked that turn too. $11 in the air brings them back up to 23. We take 1, we go down to 1. If we die here, it's fine. It's totally fine, right? Oh, once the Atali dies, we take damage equal to its power, though. Crap, guy. Oh, man. Okay, well, I guess that's that no matter what. We could take 1, let the Atali survive 12 damage that way. Then we lose 2 of our Pawpatch Recruits. Could still die to something in their hand, I guess. It's too bad we couldn't get the Keen-Eyed Curator boosted by either picking up like an artifact or an enchantment, or a land for that matter. Like if the opponent had a land in the grave, Fable Passage or something. Yeah, so that was a way to survive, by letting the Atali live, right? So I'm going to clean up their grave real quick, because we can. Also, something like our Titan, that's an enchantment that Keen-Eyed Curator could have picked up for sure. Herd Heirloom. Ah, man. So Herd Heirloom, again, I was talking about maybe getting this down to 3. Makes sense, because we don't need too many. I mean, 2 on the board is pretty nice to restock our hands, so I don't know, man. Yeah, this one could easily be my fault, though. Atali still would have been a problem, especially when paired with the Rakdos joins up, but we could have gotten rid of that Vel'Gavoth with the Curator on the board, so it's really hard to tell. I think we still would have been stuck between a rock and a hard place, but without Vel'Gavoth on this board, we would have had a serious chance. We also maybe would have had to draw a little better than the third Herd Heirloom too. Or if we could have gotten Curator up to a 7/7, then all those extra draws on the Heirloom could have been pretty good, right? Hey, good game, opponent. Yeah, this deck list should be more than equipped to deal with Reanimator deck lists. So learn from my mistake, right? Make sure you keep open mana for these abilities or for the Scavenging Ooze abilities as well. I mean, with their graveyard empty, the Vel'Gavoth was a pretty big surprise, but not when they had that much mana. Once they get to around 7 mana, they can pretty much do whatever they want. All right, we got an end of video pack. Let's crack it real quick. Oh, Midgar. That might be my 4th Midgar, honestly. I really like the utility lands from Final Fantasy. I feel like they're a little bit underplayed right now. I guess it makes sense since it's a tapped land, and I don't know anybody who likes tapped land. But the utility, bro, the utility is actually pretty good on these, so... All right, rotation-proof mono green aggro. How do we know it's rotation-proof for sure? Well, I built it in alchemy for one. There's no alchemy cards in here, don't worry, guys. But what I've been doing to build these is I go to alchemy, I click on this, format legal, and then I switch back to standard. And that's just a little bit faster than unchecking all of these, which March of the Machine, The Aftermath, All Will Be One, Brothers War, and Dominaria United are all rotating out at the end of the month. And so this deck list uses none of those. Now, the Surrak Elusive Hunter is a pretty good creature, man. Speaking of underplayed, it's crazy how often we don't see this, right? I feel like this should be popping up from time to time somewhere, but I guess it depends. When we see green, we don't really see mono green. And when we see mono green, I guess it's elves usually. I don't know. What green deck lists have you guys been seeing, and what green deck lists have you guys been playing? Oh, Landfall. Yeah, Landfall. That's funny, dude. Yeah, mono green Landfall. I guess my brain wasn't even computing that that's technically mono green. Some of them aren't mono green. They're going like Selesnya colors and stuff. Some of them are even Bant, which is pretty cool. So, yeah. Mono green landfall is pretty legit and pretty aggressive, so that's definitely a path for mono green. But I also feel like this is a path too, and I feel like a lot of those matches were unnecessarily brutal to the deck list. But I might be wrong as well. I think the curve is beautiful on so many different levels. I think you're going to curve out really, really nicely in this deck list. Now, the question is, can it deal with the meta that you're currently seeing? With the meta that I'm currently seeing, I totally think that this deck list can deal. I think if we played another 4 or 5 games, however many games we just ended up playing, if we played that many games again, I think we could easily win most of them, if not all of them. I think the deck list is overdue for some victories now, so I don't know. Hopefully we still showcased the deck list well enough as well. And then also, again, in that last game, it was kind of my fault for not keeping open that mana with the Keen-Eyed Curator. Who would have thought they would have found even more of their top end after we got rid of so much of their top end, huh? But yeah, we should have anticipated that. I should have kept open the mana for sure. So maybe the deck list could have pulled off that end of video victory. So Summon Titan on the top end, guys. I have been having a friggin' blast playing Esper Origins and Summon Titan in my builds, in the same build, right? They just work so well together, and they're both really powerful green cards, and I've been having a lot of success with both of them. I mean, Summon Titan just, even without the abilities, it's decent stats. 5 mana, 7/7 reach trample, and in a deck list like this, where you're getting Titan down a turn early, thanks to Llanowar Elves or Herd Heirloom, why not 2 turns early, right? You can totally get Summon Titan down on turn 3 with a turn 1 Llanowar Elf and a turn 2 Herd Heirloom, and you're thinking, well, your Llanowar Elves isn't going to survive. What if you go turn 1 Llanowar Elves, turn 2 Herd Heirloom, tap the Heirloom for another Llanowar Elves? Well, maybe one of your 2 Llanowar Elves actually survives, and you're asking for a lot? Not really. That's going to happen often, I would say, especially since they're both 4-ofs in here. But like I was saying, when we were playing the games, I could easily see 3 Herd Heirlooms, and you're probably going to be fine and dandy. You'll probably be pretty happy about that. I could also see 3 Esper Origins as well. I'd go up a 3rd hard-hitting question, and I would consider another thing that also pops artifacts and enchantments, guys. So Scrap Shooter, for example, would be a really good one in here. So I'm not going to make those changes personally, but I do think that that would work well. And what would the deck list look like if we did that? Let's copy this real quick and clone it. And maybe I'll put both deck lists in the description. It really depends. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So we drop an Origins, drop an Heirloom, go up a hard-hitting question, and maybe like a Scrap Shooter. And Scrap Shooter is a rare, unfortunately, but something like that could be pretty good. It looks pretty clean, doesn't it? Yeah, maybe I'll put this down in the description. I'll put the one that we played in the video, and I'll put the updated version. I would say that this would be decent. Scrap Shooter can pop like the synthesizer builds and whatnot, and not only that, outside of synthesizer builds, there's plenty of temporary lockdown builds just in general, right? And temporary lockdown does devastate this deck list. So just having more ways to clean that up. Now you are gifting a card though, which is pretty bad, but a 4/4 with reach and you're popping something important. Hopefully they just don't draw that something important back, but yeah, gifting a card's bad, but all the extra benefits you get from the Scrap Shooter, this could also just be another card that targets artifacts or enchantments to you. And there's other utility that you could choose from. Yeah, I probably won't make the change, but here's the deck list with some changes that you could consider, right? Yeah, I probably won't make the change because more testing required for sure, and I don't want to mess with what beautiful curve we actually do have too. And I might be wrong about dropping Herd Heirloom to 3, because that's a big part of this deck list, making sure we actually are ramping into these creatures, right? And also Herd Heirloom being one of the only pieces of card draw in here is actually a little sketchy too. Surrak Elusive Hunter being the other card draw as well, but that relies on your opponents actually targeting your creatures. Don't worry, your opponents are going to target your creatures at some point, even the ones that are spamming board wipe after board wipe eventually has a get lost. So that's something, I guess, right? Yeah, guys, I would say put it on the do not craft list just based on how it performed today. I'm not convinced though, bro. I'm just not. So if you already have all the cards, give it a shot. Get back to me. Let me know how it does for you. Let me know if it does much better than what we were able to showcase here today. Let's take a look at how expensive everything is. Llanowar Elves is common. Hard-hitting questions is uncommon. Then we got our rares. There's going to just be a huge pile of rares, which is why you should put it on the do not craft list. Even the Zanarkand is a rare. Okay, I guess you know, we could just drop hard hitting question and Llanowar Elves go up 6 more rares. Okay, everything's rare except for 6 of the cards and 22 forests as well. That's expensive, dude. Holy cow. Yeah, so don't craft it. If you have all the cards, go for it. Yeah, let me get back to me. Let me know how it does for you. But then also you could do some trading out based on your collection, and I think you'd be pretty satisfied. So again, guys, just to recap, if you're going mono green aggro, consider going mono green aggro with some graveyard synergies, Esper Origin, Titan, and ways to pick things out of your grave that grow as time goes on. Keen-Eyed Curator, I thought for sure we'd get to a 7/7 today because it happens so often. And in this deck list too, we have so many different card types as well. But not too many instants, but don't worry. The opponents supply a lot of instants to their grave constantly. So creatures, instants, sorceries, artifacts, enchantments, and lands. Maybe if we had ways to put our own land into the grave outside of the mill on the Titan, what we do with the Surveil on the Origins. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I feel like we could have seen a lot more today. Either way, we're almost an hour into the video. Oh my goodness. Enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. And I will see you in the next video.